Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. He's in police custody and he's the first senior royal in modern history to be arrested. Officers were spotted in unmarked police cars at the Sandringham estate this morning on what would have been Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor's 66th birthday. Now, we do know that he has been under investigation for his links to the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. There are two particular strands that the police have been looking at. One is that Epstein trafficked a woman to the UK, and the other is that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, when he was a trade envoy, was passing confidential information on to Epstein. So there's multiple strands to this investigation. Incidentally, the Prime Minister, that's Keir Starmer, was asked about this case by the BBC this morning.
I will ask you straight. Should Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor testify?
Yes. Anybody who has any information should testify. So whether it's Andrew or anybody else, anybody who's got relevant information should come forward to whatever the relevant body is. In this particular case, we're talking about Epstein, but there are plenty of other cases. It is anybody who's got information relating to any aspect of violence against women and girls has, in my view, a duty to come forward, whoever they are. Former
Prime Minister Gordon Brown has called on police to interview Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. You've said he should testify to Congress. Should he voluntarily come forward to UK police?
Well, I think that's a matter for the police. They will conduct their own investigations. But one of the core principles in our system is that everybody is equal under the law and nobody is above the law. And it is really important that that is applied across the.
So searches are currently taking place at properties in Berkshire and Norfolk, and I can bring you a statement that we've received. This is from Thames Valley Police, and it says, "We've arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk on suspicion of misconduct in public office and are carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk. The man remains in police custody at this time. We will not be naming the arrested man as per national guidance. Please also remember this case is now active, so care should be taken with any publication to avoid being in contempt of court." So that's more of a warning to the press there, and it is common for police forces not to name people who have been arrested. The Assistant Chief Constable Oliver Wright of Thames Valley Police has said, "Following a thorough assessment, we've now opened an investigation into this allegation of misconduct in public office. It's important we protect the integrity and objectivity of our investigation as we work with our partners to investigate this alleged offence." Now, at the moment, he is in custody and he can be held for up to 96 hours, but that would require the police to go to a court to request extensions. Now, the momentum in all of this has been building since the US Justice Department released 3.5 million documents related to Jeffrey Epstein and some of his associates. And some of those appear to suggest that Andrew was lying during an interview he gave to the BBC 6 years ago. In this clip from 2019, he was asked about a trip he made to New York in December 2010 when he was photographed with Jeffrey Epstein in Central Park.
And I went to see him, and I was doing a number of other things in New York at the time, and we had an opportunity to go for a walk in the park, and that was the conversation, coincidentally, that was photographed, which was when I said to him, I said, "Look, because of what has happened, I don't think it is appropriate that we should remain in contact." And by mutual agreement during that walk in the park, we decided that we would part company, and I left, I think it was the next day. And to this day, I never had any contact with him from that day forward.
So Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor was reportedly introduced to Jeffrey Epstein and his ex-girlfriend and confidant Ghislaine Maxwell in 1999. Virginia Giuffre, who was known as Virginia Roberts at the time in 2001, alleged she was forced to have sex with Andrew on 3 occasions. And as you just saw in that clip there, he was photographed, Andrew, walking with Epstein through Central Park shortly after Epstein had been released from prison, and he resigned from his role as a trade envoy, Andrew, in 2011. Now, that interview you just saw took place in 2019, and Virginia Giuffre filed a civil lawsuit against Andrew for sexual abuse in 2021. That was ultimately settled, reportedly for £12 million in February 2022. And Virginia Giuffre, it should be mentioned, took her own life last year, dying at the age of 41 in Australia. So, that brings us up to now. We've just learned that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor has been arrested and he's currently in police custody. Of course, he lost his royal titles in October 2025, meaning he's no longer the Duke of York and he's no longer a prince. Well, he has been under pressure to testify before Congress. That obviously hasn't happened as yet. House Representative Khanna believes the scandal could lead to the end of the monarchy in the UK.
Well, the king has to answer what he knew about Andrew. And just stripping Andrew of a title is not enough. I mean, Andrew needs to come before our committee and start answering questions. I mean, look, if you have allegations of raping a young girl, I don't think the appropriate punishment is you no longer get to be a prince. There's got to be more than that.
Do you think the royal family must have known something they're not telling us?
They need to answer, the king and queen, and I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand the British custom, but what's up with this? That you're going and someone's asking the queen a question, the queen is offended that she's being asking a question? I mean, come on. She wears the same clothes. She eats the same food. She's just a human being. She needs to answer the same questions anyone does.
So that's the breaking news this morning. We will be bringing you more on this throughout the hour as we get it. But just to recap, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office.